It is so refreshing to watch a gaming showcase with games that actually look like games and not movie trailers or cinematic horror shooter slashers. The Nintendo Direct really freaking delivered. We got tons of great RPG news, other really great games going on here, and they all look like really fun games. Yeah, the other trailers and showcases, they kind of like melded together into some weirdo thing that it looked like I was going to a movie theater preview for, but this was a game showcase for the ages, and I want to tell you all about it, and that's definitely worth a sub as you come and you join our party and you level on up with me. Thank you so much for your sub, your like, and your brand new hype. It helps me out a ton. So we got a new Final Fantasy, we got Dragon Quest, we got Fire Emblem, we got Xenoblade, we got Kingdom Hearts. This delivered. So let's go over everything that we got going on here. So we got a release date for Fire Emblem's Fortune's Weave. That is September the 17th, which is the same day as Trails in the Sky second chapter. Yeah, some people are going to be having a choice here, I've got to say. So yeah, kind of a hard choice. Okay, so we learned a little bit more about here. We have 4 heroes. Last Fire Emblem, we had 3 heroes, 3 houses. This looks like, a step up from 3 houses. It takes place in the Dagden Empire, and it has this tournament, and the winner of the tournament gets 1 wish. Your 4 heroes is Kai, a young boy who's out to save his father. Dietrich is a swordsman just searching for a stronger foe. There's Theodora, a queen seeking to fulfill her dream of a homeland. And Leda, a musician with her sights set on revenge. So it basically is Fire Emblem, but with like Persona sort of time management going on here. You can hone at the training grounds, you can recruit new allies, you can go around town, talk to people, you can go outside of the town walls, gain experience, fight. How you spend your free time is up to you. So yeah, but then at the very end of the trailer, it had this like underworld thing, angels going on, talking about guiding people to salvation. So kind of like a weird thing going on right there, but it looks really cool. I love the Fire Emblem games. I'm not so into the whole Persona-y social sim time management aspect that Fire Emblem is going into. Seems kind of odd, considering that, every single other Fire Emblem besides 3 houses was just, battle, strategy RPG sort of thing, and now they're going this different route, and I'm okay with the game going a different route, but I just don't want every game to be that same route, you know what I mean? And I don't want it to be too much Persona-y time management. I really like the strategy RPG aspect of Fire Emblem. There was Muramasa Revenant Blades, which is coming out next year for the PS5, PC, Switch 1, and Switch 2. This is an action RPG by Marvelous and Vanillaware. I think that it's kind of like a remake, remaster, upgrade, sequel thing to Muramasa the Demon Blade, which came out on the Nintendo Wii back in the day. It says that there are 6 different protagonists, each with their own fighting style, and you go through and you fight through the side-scrolling stages. Looks pretty cool. Then we're getting Switch 2 versions of all 3 original Xenoblade games. And there's some additions, not a whole lot of additions, but there's some additions to the Switch 2 versions. In the first game, it gives you a high-speed vehicle to travel on. It says that you can actually control the blades and fight in squad battles in the second game, and fight off waves of enemies in the third game. Just seems like little tiny upgrades right there. They actually voiced the heart-to-heart conversations in the first game as well. They added in a new hero and new hero quests in the third game, as well as new rare blades and blade quests in the second game as well. All of these are getting physical versions as well. They're getting digitally and physically. The digital version of the first one is coming out later on today, physical on July 30th. The digital version of the second game is coming out on July 30th, with the physical coming out October the 1st. And the digital and physical versions, both of the third game, are coming out on December the 3rd. But then we got a really cool thing. We're getting a 4th Xenoblade game called Xenoblade Genesis, coming out sometime next year. It was not called Xenoblade 4 Genesis, it was just Xenoblade Genesis, which tells me that, first of all, Genesis, beginning, so this could be, an origin story, a prequel to the Xenoblade games, or it could be the beginning of a brand new trilogy, since Xenoblade 1 through 3 kind of did wrap itself up really nicely in their own trilogy. So this could be just an origin story, it could be a brand new trilogy doing its own thing, maybe kind of like Dragon Quest, where, you know, that has the Urgic trilogy, then it has a Zenithal trilogy. So it could be something like that. It talks about anima being the source of all things. They're kind of going on through the world. To me, it looked like there was like a map in the sky. Like it was kind of strange. They're going on through and you could like see continents in the sky. Maybe it's almost like a Tales of Eternia thing where the world like wraps around itself sort of thing. Speaking of Tales of Eternia, we'll get to that in a moment. Also, it looks different. Very different from other Xenoblade games. It looks a lot more medieval. It looks a lot more European than the other games. It looks a lot more grounded in the real world than the other Xenoblade games, which to me I don't like. I like how fantastical and how whimsical Xenoblade games are. I don't want this to be grounded into medieval Europe, like the typical fantasy stuff that we normally see. Not only that, it's taking place in a school setting. It's like, how many RPGs have to take place in a school setting? Come on, we already had Fire Emblem Free Houses. You know, we get the Personas, we get all these academic school-based games, and now this one is also taking place in a school. Xenoblade never really had anything to do with school before, so it just kind of looks odd. And then, like, the faces of the Xenoblade 4 characters, they look very much like Fire Emblem as well. So I'm like, I'm getting Three Houses flashbacks right there. But yeah, it looks beautiful. It looks whimsical. It looks really cool. I'm looking forward to getting more information about Xenoblade Genesis. I don't want to judge a book, you know, before it comes out or whatever, but I am kind of wary of its setting. I'm wary of the school sort of thing as well, but I do want to see more, and I'm definitely playing it. Like, this is totally day one, but I'm just kind of like speaking out loud here like I normally do with y'all. I just kind of come on and I talk about my thoughts and my opinions and everything. And speaking of great thoughts and opinions, we have a new Final Fantasy game! Final Fantasy Resonance! This is an HD 2D Final Fantasy coming out October the 22nd. It's for the PlayStation, the Xbox, the PC, the Nintendo Switch 1 and 2. Now, this is another mobile adaptation, a mobile game turned into a console game. This is a mobile adaptation of Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, but it says it also incorporates elements from other updates and unique story content. It is not just a port or a remake of it, but it uses that story as a foundation of what this game is. It says it has an all-new turn-based combat system that uses the traditional turn order and not the ATB system from Final Fantasy, 4 on. It has a brand new overworld, chocobos, airships, and all that kind of stuff. And it says that it uses the soundtrack from Brave Exvius, but also 33 new songs made for this game. It was one of the highlights of the show for me. I love a good turn-based RPG. I love a good Final Fantasy. I love a world map. Like, it's looking fantastic. I will say this, we all know that these gacha games, they seem to be kind of falling by the wayside. The world is healing, and now they're turning them into console games, which I think is a great thing to do with those games. So yeah, I'm really excited about this one. We got that the Another Eden one coming out later on as well, but yeah, this is really cool. I do hope that they fix some things, like the HP, the little HP squares at the bottom of the screen. It looked really RPG Maker and mobile. Like, they need to do something with that, make it look a bit nicer. But gosh, that looks amazing. Super, super, super looking forward to Final Fantasy Resonance. We also got a release date for Dragon Quest Monsters: The Withered World. This is coming out for the Switch 1 and 2 and PlayStation 5, Xbox, and PC on December the 3rd. So this looks to have the exact same gameplay as The Dark Prince, from the scouting mechanics to the turn-based battles to the synthesis system, all that kind of stuff. But that's okay with me because I loved Dragon Quest Monsters: The Dark Prince. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Not only can you play, it showed it showed both Bianca and Flora both going out and exploring the world. They weren't together. Like, it showed Bianca with her own retinue of monsters, then it showed Flora with her own monsters. It didn't show both the girls together, so maybe you have to choose a protagonist sort of thing. I'm not entirely sure how that works, but it looks like you get one girl and then you get a party of 4 different monsters, but it also shows Deborah. We got a little sizzle reel going on here. We have Chapter 5 of Deltarune coming out on June the 24th for the Switch 1 and 2. We have a port of Metaphor ReFantazio, not an upgrade, not a definitive Royal Edition, just a port of Metaphor ReFantazio, coming out for the Switch 2 on November the 12th. We have a new Atelier game, Atelier Caria, The Night Kingdom and Guide of Memories, coming out in early 2027. These games, they just kind of like, there was nothing really else about them, just kind of a sizzle reel. And also in that sizzle reel, we have a release date for Tales of Eternia. Like I'm telling you, Nintendo delivers. Tales of Eternia remastered, coming out October the 16th for the Switch 1, Switch 2, PS4, PS5, Xbox, and PC. Says that it now has more destination icons and other quality of life improvements as well. Interestingly enough, I was expecting, like right after they said Metaphor, I was like, oh, maybe they're going to do a Visions of Mana port as well, but they didn't do a Visions of Mana port either. Then it moves on into Kingdom Hearts. We have a Kingdom Hearts collection where you can transfer your save data if you already have that collection, coming out on October the 8th with a free demo later on today of Kingdom Hearts 3. And then we got some Kingdom Hearts 4 news as well. It was just a trailer, no talking, no description of the trailer of the game, anything else like that. It was just, hey, here's Kingdom Hearts 4, and it says it's coming out on the Switch 2. Didn't get a release date, but it is also coming out on the PS5, the Xbox, and the PC. Then it ended things off with Zelda Ocarina of Time Remake coming out sometime this year. This must be their holiday game, their Christmas game, their cash cow. So yeah, Zelda Ocarina of Time coming out sometime this year for the Switch 2. Did not say Switch 1. This is going to be a definite system seller for them. It says that more details will be coming out in the future. Now, something that was noticeably absent from this Nintendo Direct was both Persona 4 and Persona 6. And a lot of people, whenever I brought that up, and I was like, I wonder why it's not coming out of the Switch 2. And everybody's like, they're just gonna wait to announce it on the Nintendo Direct, David. Duh, of course it's gonna come, and it ain't here. So yeah, maybe we'll get news about it later. Maybe it's one of those like 3-day exclusivities. Maybe, we won't know till later, but it looks like Persona 4 as of right now. Persona 4, Persona 6 isn't coming out, but all these other games are. Whoa, it is looking great. I love Nintendo because Nintendo makes fun games. That's it. That's what I want. I want fun games. I want games that look like games. I want fun games. I don't want a cinematic trailer movie experience, a game to watch. No, I want a game to play. I want a fun game. And gosh, did they deliver. The next year, the rest of this year is, it is jam frickin' packed. But now I want to hear from y'all. What do you think about all this news? What are you most excited for? Let me know down in the comments. And as always, have a good day.